Hey, everybody. Hello. Welcome, everybody. I would love to introduce all of you to my friend, Betsy Kelly of Betsy Kelly Designs. Hello, Betsy.
Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for having me. I'm so
Yay!
excited.
I'm
And
excited to have you here today. For those of you that are, if you're brand new here to my business page or over on YouTube, my name's Kelly Weiler, and I'm the owner of Girl Upcycled. My studio is in Zanesville, about an hour east of Columbus. And we love to meet you all when you come rolling through Ohio. Betsy, tell us where your business is and tell us a little bit about that.
okay, well, I am based out of Denver, Colorado. I'm Betsy Kelly Designs. And people find me just through my Betsy Kelly or Betsy Kelly Designs. It's pretty easy. And right now I'm based in Denver. This is where we live. This is where my home is. This is where my little house that is a real house is. Not to be confused with seeing me on the road all the time in my fifth wheel, which we travel in for Mark's job. He is an insurance adjuster and I'm his assistant. And we get deployed to various different places where there has been significant weather. And he's a tall and steep um, roofing guy. He's the guy that gets
Mm-hmm.
assigned to things like hail and wind and you
Yeah.
know things like that. So
Yeah.
so we
Awesome.
travel a lot. So everyone gets confused. Where are you? Because all last year I was in Michigan, and but I don't. That's not my all the time address. So it does
But
change.
but I think that is so cool because you can have your art studio wherever you go that way, which
I
I think is just so cool. I mean, that's like I want to be you when I grow up.
Well, it is so cool. It's a dream come true. Um, we actually got hit by one of the hailstorms here in Denver, the one that we've been working this whole summer, and it annihilated our fifth wheel, our prior fifth wheel that
Oh,
we had loved for, I don't know, we had it for about
oh,
8 years or something. I know I cried
oh,
out loud.
wow.
But
Oh,
that was when
oh
Mark
my
said, you know
gosh.
what,
I
let's
can imagine.
yeah, they totaled it, and it was like, where are you going to get another one like it? They just don't make them anymore like that. But
Yeah.
he came up with the idea of let's get something completely different than what we had before and get a toy hauler. And I'm like, oh, that's an idea, because the toy hauler area is like a little mini garage,
Yeah.
and the whole wall goes down and turns into a deck area, so it's got
That's
tons
so
of
cool.
potential. Yeah, so
So you can
anyways,
open it up when it's really nice out because you guys have
right,
a great summer there in Colorado. It's so beautiful. So you can open up a whole wall really and kind of like your
it
studio turns
doubles.
into an outdoor creative area.
Right, it like doubles in
That's
space. And
I love that.
but like right now it's not, the wall is up because it's cold out. And but I have probably 3 lines of paint that I have. It's very, being organized is really the biggest challenge, but I have all my stuff is pretty much in here. I just don't have, I have to be real creative on my pieces. Those don't get stored in here, but I have a little bathroom so I can wash my paintbrushes. I have well, the goofy lights that I have strategically clamped. Everything has to be clamped, or you can't like drill holes in the walls in these things.
Yeah.
That's like, you can't do that. So you got to get creative. Clamps are what I use.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, people. I've done a couple of little tours, and I do them periodically so people can see what I'm talking about. Like, I have things that hang on the doors with
Mhm.
lots of hooks,
Yeah. So,
magnetic hooks, things like that everywhere.
yeah, so those of you, so we're kind of talking to, the creative business owner and that sort of thing today is kind of what we're targeted towards. So I want to encourage each of you to check out Betsy's page because when she does her live tours, you're going to get ideas for your spaces. I mean, because I hear a ton of people say, like, I don't have any space to create, or I only have limited space. And I think that that's a lie that you tell yourself. And I think by following Betsy, you're going to get a lot of unique, out of the box ideas on how you actually can utilize these spaces. So,
It's true. It's really true. I have come up with some amazing little secrets of how to stash things, store things, keep things at your fingertips because you don't want to have to go dig into a container every single time you need something. You know how we are. We want it at our pretty much reach.
yeah,
And so I've gotten pretty clever at trying to figure that out. And this summer has enabled me to do that because we didn't have the pressure of actually being on the road. Our camper is right now parked in our driveway, right outside my side door. So I have
yeah. Well, that's
electricity. I don't have plumbing, but I have electricity. So I just go inside and use the sink and stuff in there. But when we're on the road, it'll be all plumbed up and everything like that. So
yeah.
yeah,
But in a way, you're very blessed though that you do have that option to where it is still with you. Like it's not, you have access, easy access to it. So
right,
when you're not traveling, so I love that. Okay, so
right.
I just want to say hello to everybody. We have Heather Watson in the house, Melanie Lingle. Hello, Melanie.
Hi,
Ciprian Irana from Spain is here. We
Brianna.
have hello, Bluebird Relics. Hello, Elisa. Bob Cochran here in the house.
Hey,
Amber
Bob.
Young. Stacy Hartman. Hello, everybody. Also, if you know of a creative business owner or somebody that would like to be, our topic for the day is going to be we're going to kind of just be throwing around some ideas on how we can find our targeted audience. So that
Yeah.
was something that Betsy, that was her idea. And that's something that she feels like she's been struggling with. And I kind of want, like, whenever we do these business chats like we're doing, I really want it to be an open platform because there are so many of you out there that are
Please.
watching that will be able to put your ideas and things that have worked for you in the comments. So I don't want you to think it's just about Betsy and myself telling you how it is because we all are learning along the way and um, especially with our situation that we're in right now, we are all shifting a little bit through this 2020. I guess is how we're just going to lightly blaze over that situation. But so if you all have things that are working for you, I'd like for you to please chime in and let's kind of use this platform to help each other. So,
I
so
really
what?
think, yeah, please. I think we're a community. And if we support each other, I think it just benefits each other in the whole,
Mhm,
you know. Um,
absolutely.
and as far as like marketing goes, what do you think, Kelly? Do you feel like you kind of have to be with the times that have been changing so much and all the quirkiness of this year with the virus and the politics and the upheaval in the economy, that we as creators and small business people have to be kind of like chameleons in a way where we have to
Mhm.
conform to all these different changes and things.
Yes.
So maybe what was working a year or two ago, it may not be the only thing that you can have to
Yes.
do right now,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know.
Exactly. That is exactly what we really have to do right now in order just to survive. I mean, I feel like we have to shift a little bit. We have to, I mean, honestly, if there are any of you out there that have small businesses or you're thinking about it and you've not utilized any of the platforms, the social media platforms that we have, like the live that you're watching right now, you really need to be doing that because um, we were talking real quickly last night about, right now this is, we don't have to pay to do it live. Anybody can do it. So I mean, if you're not utilizing that as a small business, that's really, really sad. And it is scary. It is. It's not. I mean, but um, I guess when I first started doing the live feeds, I was kind of like, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, like, okay, and
Right.
let's say I get on there and I totally freeze up and I don't talk, or I
Right.
sometimes when I talk, I'll get my sentences backwards, or I'll awkward silence or whatever. And so what? And what if? You know,
Right.
I mean, if it's a really horrible live, when you get done with the live, you can just delete it. And, most of your people that are going to be coming through and watching your videos are going to be within the next 24 to 48 hours. Right.
Right.
So when you get that live feed, like right now, we'll have a chunk of people that are watching, which we love. We love it when we have live people in and interacting with us, but the majority of people will be catching it later, or they'll see that you're on and they're at work, and they'll maybe come back to it later. So please
I agree.
utilize
I
this.
think it's so, I mean, the thought that we would have to start paying to go live on Facebook didn't even, it never even occurred to me that that might change.
I mean, and I don't
And
know. Hopefully not.
we, I
Hopefully not, but
know.
we don't know. Um, right now, I know the live feeds get pushed really pretty well. So that's something that you can do as a person that's starting out your business. Try it. Do a live, and then do a pre-recorded video, and then do a regular post, and look at your um, interaction between the three, and look at
That's a
the
good
push
idea.
that, yeah, look at your insights on those three posts and compare them, and look for yourself and see what works. I mean, for me, I always notice the lives do much better. um, Hi, Tammy. um, Okay, Christine is saying when we do lives, we think that people notice all our quirks when we don't even see that, right?
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Well,
So
I
I
think
went,
it's such a self-conscious world
yeah,
being in this social media, especially for someone who's not used to it, who, I mean, never even went on Facebook before, but now it's kind of a thing that you have to do. And it's not, I mean, a lot of people are like, I don't go on Facebook, and because it's like an ego thing, but it's not. It's
yeah.
really a beautiful avenue on so many levels because of the community and the camaraderie and the information and the potential that it gives you to,
Mhm.
you know, share your business and everything that you're all about.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So, so how have you targeted your audience? How have you gotten the audience that you have so far? What has worked for you, and what has not worked for you, Betsy?
Well, I'll tell you what, when I first started my Betsy Kelly Designs page, and it really wasn't that long ago, so it's still pretty new. It's not even a year old. I had a lot of people already on my Facebook, so I started inviting them over. And I noticed that a lot of people that already knew me were eager to check it out. So I did have, a lot of people that knew me from literally high school and earlier, even growing up and times like that. Um, and that I think made me even a little bit more nervous. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Yes.
my old friends
Yeah.
I felt like I was like, I don't know, it just kind of gave me a little bit more of nervousness. But
Yes.
that's okay because I'm kind of getting over that now. But so I had that thinking that, okay, well, that's sort of a given. Those people already know me. Now who are all these other people? And I'm still, researching kind of who they all are, because my people that I've gotten to know are, for the most part, they're a lot like me. um when I was like trying to come up with what is my avatar, which not myself, my own avatar is me, that person that you see on the cartoon thingy on Facebook. But what is my customer avatar, my target avatar, I guess.
So what that means is like, who, when she's saying avatar, she's saying like, who is that, those closest 3 to 5 people, right, that show up religiously to your page and interact with you, and like, who are those people, right?
Right.
And that
And I
gives you,
really, yeah. And I think that a lot of, for the most part, for me, those people are people who are like three things. One, they're wanting to see what I'm doing from an art standpoint. What's she gonna do? She's gonna do something creative. Then the other one are people that have already seen me do that, that maybe are starting to think about doing it themselves. And so those people. And then the third one is people who are kind of interested in maybe spending money on me. um, Either hiring me to do something that they already have in mind, or possibly, following me to see if I do something that they want to buy.
yeah.
So, the third is really the one I want to build up the most if I want to, start making more money.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
you are thinking, as for yourself, then that would be the one that is maybe contacting you for your custom orders and your artwork and
Right.
things like that, right? Because that's what you love to do. That's where your heart is, right? Is when you're creating and making the things, right?
Yes. I mean, as far as, if I had a spot for everything I painted, I would probably put it there. I've already pretty much taken up all the space I have. And what happened was, now it was time to, learn how to sell it. And that is a challenge amongst all challenges, I think. Especially being on the road. I found that, it's great when you can put things on consignment in brick and mortars. That was what I did before we got home, and then the whole COVID thing hit and everything got shut down.
So with you doing the commissions and with you traveling, so you're probably looking at doing a lot of shipping then with your service, right? Whereas before you were traveling and you were selling it probably out of your what do you call it? A trailer?
Well, you can call it a camper. Some people call it, I mean, the camper is probably the most universal word. It's nobody knows what to call it, but we can just call it the camper.
You should give it a name. You should name
Well,
her.
I call it the art ride.
Or is it a he? What is it?
The art ride. It's like my ride. My art ride.
I love it. What's the outside look like? Are you planning on painting it, or is it already?
It's so beautiful, you guys. I have a picture of it on my on my page, my Betsy Kelly. If you're already my friend, I'll post one.
What'd you
For
do to it?
you. Well, this is a brand new one, you guys. It's 2020.
Yeah.
So it's gorgeous to look at. I mean, it's very sleek and white, and the decals on it are really, really pretty. It's like
Nice.
one of those brand new, it's like, wow, there's a new one. So so I love that. It sits up, it's huge. It feels huge compared to the old one, even though
Yeah.
lengthwise it's not that much longer, but it sits way up high off the ground. So I feel like I'm like, woohoo, traveling on top of the world. It's really, really a treat. This one is. But I know I've had people say, well, you should paint Art Ride down the side of it, and,
Yeah.
paint it up. And I don't know if I want to do that, but
Oh, well,
that'd
you
be
know
like
what? Here's the thing. You got to, and I'm like this. Like when I moved into, we built a new house, and like I have to live in it for a while
yeah,
before I like, I gotta like,
right,
I don't know, figure out what it is and how it should be. Like
yeah,
it's not something that can just be like that for me. It's
right.
like it's a move, it's a movement, it's a feeling, and yeah, I totally get that. But I can totally see you doing something pretty cool to it though down the
Yeah,
road
it's got.
as you're moving, yeah, into where you're supposed to be. But yeah, very cool.
I did
All
a
right.
painting of it, and I don't know where I put my painting of it, but I did post a picture. I'll post some more pictures. It's probably time for me to show off the camper again to everybody, because it's pretty cool.
Christine
So, yeah.
is saying that's how I feel. I'm more nervous about the people that know me than strangers. Like she's talking about
Right.
the lives. So, yeah,
And
it
and to
is.
take it even further, Christine, when they start hiring you and asking you to make things for them, it takes it on a whole nother nervous level,
Yeah.
because you just, yeah. I mean, you want to do the best job ever. I mean, you always want to do the best job ever, but it's scary too when you put your price tag on your stuff and you say, this is how much it's going to cost, and see the reaction. That's a whole nother plateau of scariness. It's like, well, this is what I charge, and we're doing business now.
Yes. Yep.
So, and sometimes you have to explain why it's costs, what it costs. And I've actually had them say, that's not enough. I want to pay you more. And I was like, really? Okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like when you're really like, what a blessing that is, right? I mean, that they really get it. Like they get it and they appreciate it, and they feel like, no, girl, you need more than that. No, that's so awesome. And it does. And
yeah,
like that
it is
happens,
awesome.
Yeah.
And it's also helped me to figure out exactly who are the people that I really want to reach. I really want to reach the people who are probably been, closer to more middle age or older, or, I'm not saying I'm shutting out anybody that's not in this like profile, but who has a home that they have decorated maybe a couple of times, and have lived with it like that. But how simple is it to take a piece, even that very same piece that has been in that same spot in your home, and paint it, and how it updates your house, and maybe just gives it a whole nother feel, and makes you feel a little bit, just happier and younger, and more vibrant, because you put that alternative decor factor into your everyday life, and you didn't think that you would. It's kind of like getting a new hairstyle, or wearing something you wouldn't normally think you would look cute in if you know, but if you don't try it, you don't know. And that's, I mean, it's amazing how the smallest piece of furniture or even piece of decor or piece of art can, how the powerful effect it can have on your environment. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think that right now in this past year, I think that that's what we are seeing is people are really nurturing their homes more now because
Right.
they're not running as much and they're spending more time in their home. And so they are really wanting to make it special because they're there a lot. And so yeah, it's very important. And I think that right now it's important because it's uplifting. And I think that that
Right.
is so important
That's
right
the word.
now to keep our spirits lifted as high as we can right now. If it makes you happier, having a different color on your wall or a new, whatever artwork or whatever, then that's, you got to do whatever you got to do to soothe your soul right now.
And it doesn't have to cost a really lot either. I mean, if you go around and I shopping is kind of part of my job, right? I feel like it is, and plus it's one of my favorite things to do. So I will go shopping, just not buying shopping, but shopping, looking, everything. But it's interesting to see how much one would have to spend on new furniture that is in some of these showrooms that isn't, I guess it's kind of more, it might be designer, but it's more
Mass produced.
manufactured. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's expensive. You could, I mean, I that's, I think, why what's starting to get discovered is people are going, well, did you, Betsy did that,
Yeah.
and this is how much I spent on it. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's what you would think would be kind of expensive is really not as expensive as what they could spend if they were going to go and redecorate their home
Exactly.
that other way. So
And they have like custom work that way too.
right,
Okay,
exactly.
let's read a couple of things here. We have Kendra here that says, "I've been doing commissions forever, 40 years. I just want to paint my own art again. I have 5 commissions going right now." That's a great spot to be in. It really
Yeah.
is. When you, I mean, like, so Kendra, I guess what is your, are you feeling like if you just paint what you want to paint, do you feel like you're not going to sell them? Because I feel like if you have been in the business that long and you have all these commissions backed up, you already have a following. I mean, I feel like she probably already has a tribe of people that just loves her work. And so I don't know if you're afraid to um, branch out and just go for it. So if you're afraid to stop taking commissions, because I really don't do commissions anymore. Once in a while, I will do one, um, like if it's from a prior customer, just because I just feel like it's my way of thanking them for back when I was getting started. But I don't take new commissions on. So I would say if you're afraid to jump in and just completely stop, back off on the amount that you do in a month's time. I mean, what would you say, Betsy, to that?
Well, I think doing a piece for somebody, it seems like, and tell me, you guys, if this happens to you, it seems like one leads into another, and you have
Mhm.
now opened up a can of worms. And they tell their friends, and if you give, it's sort of like I did this one lady, a really sweet deal. I put a lot more time into her commission than I got paid for, and whoops, because she
Oh
told
yeah.
everybody, and I had to kind of hone that back down and say, you know what, you guys, that piece was kind of unique. It was in terrible condition, and I had no choice other than to da 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 da.
Yeah.
And that's the problem when people bring you furniture. You have to really like slow down, I think. And I'm giving myself this advice. Slow down, take the time to really check it out. Don't jump to it too fast, and then really analyze it, and then go back and say, okay, here's why it's going to be, I'll do it for you for this much. Like we were talking earlier today, I was talking with Krista at Texas Gypsy Style, and we were talking about bleeders, and we were talking about how much work goes into if they want you to paint something that is going to need the prep involved in, because it's a dark wood that's going to bleed, and it's like painting it twice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of prep involved, and you need to explain that to people why it's going to be more expensive.
And you're like this when you are putting your top coat on it, like, okay, did it work? Did it work? How bad is it going to be?
Right.
And then if there's little places coming through, you're just like, Joe, man, I don't know about you, but I'm like saying bad words in my head the whole time. Like, why did I say I'd do this? Why?
Right. Or, maybe say, I'll do this. And if it does this and I have to paint over it, or we have to start over, I'm going to have to charge you for it. It may not be worth it. Maybe we should rethink the piece, and maybe, find another one that is, maybe better. But I don't know. I think the problem with it, the artist industry, is that I think it's not something people need to understand. It's not something that you're going to go to the store and bring it home. It takes time to do it, and it takes time to ship it and get it to you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Jan is asking, Betsy, what kind of paint do you use?
I use DIY quite a lot. Like on this next piece that I'm going to do, I'm going to use all DIY. I use Dixie Belle quite a lot. I have a line of Miss Lillian's. One of the things that I get to do in traveling is I get to buy whatever paint. I remember when we were in Florida, and there was a store, and it was full of fusion paint. So I bought all the colors I needed of that. So I have a lot of different lines. I need to sort of start scaling that down before we hit the road, because it's not fun to travel with all this paint. I just restock every time. But probably my two favorites are the DIY and the Dixie Belle, mostly because I can get my hands on it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think I love using different products and experimenting, and I just feel like there's something there's a purpose for different paints,
Yes, there is.
I just feel like there's different reasons of why you would use different things. So
yes.
Okay, so Christine has a question here. Hi, Christine. She says, I don't feel like I found my look in art. I definitely feel like I have been in a creative rut. So, Christine, I would say, like, okay, are you doing much of the intuitive process? Are you, I guess if you had to pick like one style out of all the styles of art that you know of, what is that one style that comes to mind? What's very first, without even thinking, what, boom, one comes out of your mouth? What is it? Be interested in seeing what she says.
Well, let's maybe list a few different styles, because that's what I think. So, there's boho. There's classic farmhouse. I'm asking you.
I don't know if she's talking about her canvas work or for her furniture. So for some reason, I feel like she's talking about her canvas art.
Okay.
But I mean, that still could go. I mean, you're still,
Well,
that could still be, boho or farm, kind of for farmhouse living, that type of
what
person.
would you say? What would you say, Kelly, are some of the different the names of some of the different like styles of
Well,
canvas?
I mean, there's abstract art, there's figurative art, there's floral, people that only do floral
Right.
artists, I love florals. I can do florals in my sleep just because it comes so just freely out of me. Um, do do I want to do florals all the time? No, I don't. But even when I do something that is another style, you're probably going to find a little flower here or there.
Right.
but you know, but you know, I really love abstract. I don't know. Let's see.
I think mine's mixed media. I
Oh
think
yeah.
I just
Oh
can't
yeah.
stop gooping
Yeah.
it up. You
Yeah.
know, that's my favorite thing to do. I'm so excited for today because we're doing an intuitive,
She,
and I know I'm going to be mixed
she,
media.
yeah. I love your work, Betsy.
Oh well, it's
I
the
love it.
same. I'm the same with you, Christine, on that because I'm still discovering myself. I'm still like being drawn towards different things, but I know one thing. I always end up there's in my art. There's when it's over, when it's all said and done, you can look at it and you can say that's a flower and that's a bird or whatnot. It's not just a graphic,
Mm-hmm.
that I know that much. I can't leave it without putting something on it,
Yeah. Yeah. You like to have a like a subject matter.
A subject ends up being on
Like
it. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Very cool. All
But
right. So
landscape is fun. Yeah.
she loves florals, bright colors, and abstract. So, I mean, so Christine, I would say my advice for you would be then just focus on that. I mean, no matter what you're working on, or say if you're working with different artists and you're learning, um, stay focused on your heart, your desires as an artist. Even if they're showing you something, you can still learn something that an artist is showing you, but you can still hone it in and kind of keep it like that pristine feel, right? So the more practice you do, the better you will get. That is with anything. I mean, you've got
Right.
to be in motion. If you, I mean, that needs to be. I mean, if you're wanting to learn guitar, you need to have that guitar in your
Right.
hand, for hours a day. When I was learning, I'm not that good at it, but when I first got my guitar, I would just be, if I was watching TV, I would just be sitting there trying to run my fingers over the strings so that I developed a callus on my fingers, and
Right.
so that I could hit maybe some chords that I couldn't do. And it's just the same with art. I mean, you have to be in motion. Whether you hate it when you get done doesn't matter. You keep in motion. With everyone, it'll get better. With everyone, you'll learn something. So,
But it does help to be in these groups and have the guidance of of groups like yours, Kelly. I mean, that is like
thank
the
you.
best.
I loved the group. Y'all are just amazing. I have to say, you guys are like,
Well, I mean,
it's it's
it's
not
a
like this huge group or anything, but I feel like we're all pretty tight, and just I just love. I've watched you guys grow, and you guys have watched me grow, and we've kind of like, I just feel like we're just boosting each other up, and learning and thriving from each other. It's been one of the best experiences of my life, really, having
well,
a
it's
group.
so cool to have a place where you can just go and have a question or say, you guys, this I hate this. What am I doing wrong? and post a picture and not not be embarrassed about it. Have people go,
Yeah.
I would do this, or I would do that, or it looks really not as bad as you think, or
Yeah. They're like, walk away, girl, walk away, come back
yeah,
tomorrow. You're
yeah,
gonna love it. All
right,
right, we have, let's
exactly,
see.
yeah,
Deborah is saying,
it really helps.
I'm sure that a lot of people would like that problem just to charge for what you do. Very true. Okay.
But you know what happens to me, you guys? I think a piece is going not so great, and I just keep staring at it. Maybe I'll add just a little, maybe I'll only spend 5 minutes on it. And then I'll walk away. And then like the talk to the hand is a perfect example. I hated that
Oh,
piece. I loved it when I first started it.
girl.
It was so pretty by the end of our class. It was that cool abstract
Oh,
and blah, blah, blah. Then I
I
started gooping it up
love.
and gooping it up and gooping it up. And then I started adding, you guys, this is true. I found all my broken molds that have been laying around that I wouldn't throw away or whatever. I threw those on there. I threw paper on there. I started just regurgitating on there, and then the very last thing, I forget, it was during the whole campaigning thing. I think it might have been election day before or something. And I had my little TV on, and I was like sitting here, and my hand was just right in front of my face. And I had my hand, and I put my hand down on the canvas, and I went, talk to this hand. And I just outlined my hand in a really fast way. And then, boom, it was done. And I was, decorating it with all my decor
Oh my
waxes and
gosh.
stuff. And it
Girl,
turned out so cool.
I love that piece. So that's so cool. So then another reason you got to go check out her page, you guys. You got to see the piece of artwork
Thanks,
she's
you
talking about.
guys.
It's really, really cool. Okay. So we have, let's see, Lori Abraham, super happy I caught this live. I stopped working behind my stylist chair 2 weeks ago and I started going to the studio every morning, spending the whole day creating. I am determined to make my art become real. Thank you for this uplifting talk. Awesome. We are cheering you on, Lori.
It is in business. That's the whole thing. And I was thinking, too, this morning, and I was like, I've taken all these different business. I've watched all these different YouTubes, and the whole thing about, talking about the business aspect, I think that's getting old for me, is that it hasn't been fun, and it needs to be fun and more of a piece of me than, the numbers and stuff, like where can we go that's going to make it creative too, part of the creative process. That's why I was thinking avatar, and I was like, maybe I will draw my avatar person, my perfect lady, that when I paint this stool, she's pretend in my head, but I'm going to make her be real in my head, and I'm going to make this for her, and she's going to pay me all my money that I want for it and love it.
Yep, exactly. But back to that subject about the avatar, I know I took a course from Rachel Miller, who she has the Moolah company. I don't know if y'all have heard of her, but she described it as when you are trying to figure out who your customer is. So you want to actually physically like create this person in your head, just like Betsy was talking about. She's going to create it. She's going to so she physically has something that she can look at, really. But you need to think about like this person if they had a car, what would their bumper sticker be? Like, what would they be like? The world without art is just Like that would be
Right.
somebody that I feel like would be my customer,
Right,
you
right,
know?
right. But I
Um,
think
the,
that there's a lot of people that are intrigued by us. One of the things that I learned from my little class, by the way, oh my gosh, my class, thank you so much for helping me. It was a huge success, and I wouldn't have done it if it hadn't been for you, Kelly. No way would I have done it.
yes,
And it
yes,
was so cool.
yes, girl.
Those ladies had never picked up a paintbrush, much less a palette knife. And we were doing a canvas, a wood canvas with a textured, like salt wash background. So, I mean, I had no idea. I think if I'd known that they had never opened up a thing of DIY paint before, I probably would have been a little bit more nervous than I was. But there's a lot of people that don't realize they love something until they get to know you, and all of a sudden they're like, well, you know what? I am not that conservative person that I have been. Maybe I can dye my hair orange or red or pink or whatever. Not, I'm using that as a, but maybe I would love to have a turquoise, you know, dresser there that instead, and things like that. And just realizing that if you switch up things a little bit, you have color in your life, and it's a beautiful feeling. It's therapy. It's like
So
spiritual and all kinds of things all mixed together. And all of a sudden we've got another person that's in our, that's with us, that's amongst,
yes, absolutely. And that's another, whole kind of a avatar thing is like, so your person, your avatar, your ideal customer is somebody that, she's just really finding herself. She has been
right,
following these trends for so many years, and she did not know that she could color outside of the lines. She did
right.
not know that she had permission to be an artist herself. She thought she had to stand back on the sidelines and watch. Guess what? You don't have to. You can
No.
jump in and play.
Yeah,
It's even field for everybody. So that's your person too. And that's
it
who that
is.
I feel the same way. Like that, I feel like that would be a customer that, yeah, that I would, have in the studio myself. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's so fun to see their faces light up. Did it just give you so much joy?
It was. Well, they were so scared at first when they were doing what I was telling them to and teaching them, go like this. It's just such a gentle light touch. And I did see them get a little bit nervous about, that they weren't going to like it. We went through that phase, in the beginning kind of, and then about midway they started seeing it come together and they started feeling it. By the end, they all of our pieces were different but the same, and it was like, but they all loved went home with their pieces like you teach, you know let them have a win, and they all
Yes.
had a win.
Give
And
them
I
a
was just
win.
I was so well, I was
They,
proud of myself. I could even cry right now,
yes.
but it
Yes,
was just, I just
girl.
was
I'm gonna
really like,
cry too because I'm so
yeah.
proud of you. And then all everything that you did and you gave to them, it's just like this big giving fest, really. I know it sounds
I
corny,
know
but
it
it really
was.
is. And it makes, I mean, art is very therapeutic. I always tell y'all that in the group about how it just is so helpful on so many levels. And when you can tap into that with people that don't realize it and you give them that win,
Yes.
it's like, oh, I always tell people, like, if you have the passion for art, I
I'm
can
on
teach
I'm on
you.
live. Sorry.
That's okay.
The boys
If
just came home. I know. Well, here's another thing. I was finding myself, jabbering when I was on live yesterday. And I was like, art is one of the few things that I can think of that you can start as a beginner and have fun doing from the very beginning, like it. And I was referring to, my age. I mean, there's hardly anything I could think of that is really that much fun to start doing, like a new thing. Like I was referring to, like skiing, not so much. It's not that fun to be a beginner at skiing when you're, in my age. There's just, I was kind of even picking up the guitar, it's so challenging. You could be frustrated more than feeling really good right away. That instant gratification that does happen with doing art and creating, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So even with, you could give a person, say, like the splatter and chatter classes that are made for beginners, but you could even go a step easier and already have a design kind of like sketched out even. And they would come in and they would be learning how to paint blend.
Right.
They would be learning how to run the drips and just there's different things like that. Even though the design is already there, they're going to put their own touch on it too. So,
right. Yeah.
Okay, Stacy says, was it a furniture painting class or canvas painting class?
It was a canvas. It was a wood, not a huge piece. It was like a wood board that it'd be a cute like porch sign, sitting on top of a table kind of thing on your front porch or whatnot. It was wood, and it was very textury. We did I used the salt wash texture with the cement, and we mixed it up with some DIY paint. It was all about DIY paint because the Quaint Market in Colorado Springs where I did it, she's a DIY, she sells it there, which is probably the only place within 200 miles around where I am that sells DIY paint. So a lot of people don't understand what it's about and how to use it and whatnot. I mean, you could go on and on with these classes, but I mean, it was, on the wood, which is how my very first canvas piece was on a piece of wood. So that's when I fell in love with doing it. It was on wood.
I love painting on wood and glass, both. They're very, very different.
I haven't painted on glass that much. I haven't really ventured out into painting on glass other than like,
very, very smooth surface. It's
doing painting on my jars.
I've done that. Well, that's glass. That's painting on glass, but it's very different. It does, it is more fragile,
right?
Of course, because it's glass. It will, if you get a really nice gouge in it, it will scratch. But it's very smooth. I love the application of it. Art is a way of running away without leaving home. Amen, sister.
Yep, it is.
Hey, Athena. Good to see you here. Love art, canvas and furniture. I get excited when I get started on a new piece. Sometimes I don't know when to stop with it. I'm guilty of that too. How about you?
Everyone is. I think that's all of our thing. I mean, yeah.
Okay, Stacy, she's been wanting to do a DIY paint class, but she's not sure what to do. So, oh my goodness, there's so many options. I mean, the signs are really popular right now. Signage,
yes, they're huge.
But you could do a layered paint finish on your board, and then just do wet distressing. You could let them pick out maybe 2 to 3 colors. So you would have 2 colors that would go on your base coat, let it dry, and then you do a wash of the 3rd color. And then you could lightly wet distress. So you're going to show them how to layer paint and kind of blend it, and then you're going to show them how to do the wash, a paint wash, and then you'll also be showing them how to wet distress. So there's 4 different things you could be teaching them. Very, very simple steps too. And then after that dries, have them dry it with a hair dryer. Have stencils. They could stencil whatever they want on top of that with like a dark color, contrasting
I think,
color.
yeah, stencils are awesome.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very, very, very easy to use during a class. Now, I will tell you, even with stencils, for those of you that are wanting to do classes, don't just assume that everybody knows how to stencil. Okay,
No.
you need to treat every single class as though they've never done it before, because even though maybe a few have, I guarantee you there'll be some in there that haven't, and they're afraid to ask how to do it. They're afraid to say that they've never done it before. So make sure you go through the steps of stenciling, like keeping the stencil clean on the back, and uploading your brush, offloading your brush before you paint
Right.
the stencil. People don't know that. So that is something that we as artists and creators, we kind of take that for granted. I know I
Yes.
do too sometimes. Those really easy, simple steps, I'm like, oh, everybody knows how to do that.
Right.
But they don't.
No.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't even know, you know, these ladies, and that's what I mean. I had to really kind of just write down to how to wipe off the palette knife in between dipping it into another color, or
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
just simplest little things like that, you know. And you just, I mean, it was a small class. It was only 6 ladies, and then the 2 owners that were standing up behind me, and I could keep my eye on everyone while they were working. So if it got any bigger than that, out of control for me. That's for sure.
How many did you have, Betsy?
We had 6 ladies.
That's
and then
nice.
I had the 2 shop owners were both doing it too. So
Nice.
I actually had 8 ladies plus me. Yeah.
That's
so
a nice
8
size
plus
class.
me means we had 9 palettes, 9 canvases. So yeah.
That's
So
good.
it made for a nice group photo at the end.
Yes, I saw it. I was like, girl, I was like,
Yeah.
look at her go.
I know.
was
And I
so
actually
excited.
you guys, what I did is I went down and had a meeting, and I did several of our splat and chats in our group. And several. I did like 3, I think. I did the snowman. I did the truck with the Christmas tree, and I did I did my Charlie Brown tree, and I let them pick, and fortunately, in a way, they picked the easiest one. I thought was the easiest one. The snowman would have been pretty easy to do too, but so they picked which one of those. Now I think they're going to have me back to do the truck, is what I think is going to be the next one. So,
yeah, they will. People get hooked on it. They just, they can't believe how much they enjoy it, and they'll keep coming back. With my classes, I've gotten to the point where if I don't come up with new designs for the year, for so long, my customers were contacting me like, hey, do you have any new designs? Because I've done them all and I'm waiting on new ones. And it's so funny. I have this group that comes in, and they're always my very first, new design. They're my newbies. So I always say, oh, y'all are my guinea pig class, because, they're the ones. But it's so cool because they've been coming in and doing these classes since I opened 5 years ago. And so they're really, really cool about, like, they give me a little lax, and then I get to ask them when they're done, like, is there something that seemed hard with this? Would this be easier with a template? Would this be, you're not going to hurt my feelings? And they're like, oh, we know, girl, no, it was good. Or, well, I think this would work. So that's, you'll get that. You'll get that after you'll see those same people coming in year after
Yeah,
year.
I
Yeah.
think I was surprised though. I thought it was all people that knew each other, and it wasn't. It was, I think there were about four of them that are kind of regulars, and then the rest of them were all like they just met. So
And
they drove
yeah,
from the completely other side of Colorado Springs, like by the Broadmoor or whatever. They drove for probably a half hour, 40 minutes just to come to the class by themselves.
that's so cool.
Yeah,
That is so
that was
cool.
pretty neat.
Now, and
That's
that
something I would do. Yeah.
oh yeah, totally, I
Yeah.
would too. But that is something too that I've noticed. Some of my people, like I said, they've come in from the moments from when I first started. They're like, oh, where's so and so at? She's usually here at the first class, and they
Right.
just know each other from here, but they become friends because of it. So they're connected. So it just, yeah, it's a good thing. Painting is almost as important as breathing to me. It's a stretch. I'm over exaggerating, but you get the depths of my love. Yes, girl, we're right there with you.
Yeah, it's a daily affair. That's for sure.
Are there any questions? I'm looking at the time. We've been on here an hour, but I would like to.
Yeah, not counting my delay, actually.
No worries about that.
I messed up, you guys. I apologize.
No, you're fine. But I do try to keep it within an hour. But I want you guys to please put in any questions that you might have if you are struggling with finding out who your customer is. Is there something that we haven't touched on? I imagine there is because there's a lot out there and we've only, skimmed over it. But if you're out there and you're trying to book classes or you're trying to do things and you're not getting the right customer in, if there's anything that Betsy or I, either one, can do to help you, we would be happy to. So make sure you put your questions in. You can also tag us later on if you're catching this on the replay, and that way
Right.
we can kind of go back later and maybe try to help you. And that is one thing I do want to tell you guys. When you are, the Creators Club is not open to public right now, but I do give all of the ladies the rights to teach those classes. So if you are wanting to start out a little business and you're not knowing where to go or where to start, I'm always happy to help you in there. So I'll be opening it up probably at least maybe the first of the year. I usually it's not till spring, but I'm thinking with the shutdowns that people might need it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, my question about that, opening up the class at certain times of the year. Sorry, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Why do you do it that way? Why is it closed and then open and then closed and then open? What is the
well, the reason that I do it that way is because I want to give myself time to get to know some of the new members that come in. So if there's always new members coming in, I am always trying to get them up to speed on this is what intuitive art is, and this is what the splatter and chatter is, and this is what you can do with it, and this is how you can make money doing that. And then members choice classes. So it just gives me, I feel like it makes it more personal. Like I can get more
that makes sense
with the people rather than just people coming in and out, open door all the time.
right?
I mean, when I first opened my group, I did have it that way, but I just feel like I am closer knit. I know who you are now.
Right. No, that makes total sense too.
Yeah,
it does.
So I don't know. Kendra's a new member. Kendra, when did you join? Just this last opening? Kendra's asking, how do you keep your classrooms clean? I just sanitize before and after. The way I do my classes, I do private classes. So it's people that are quarantined together. So they're already around each other. so it's not as big of a deal. I have my mask on, keep my distance. So I'll be teaching across the room and they'll be kind of sitting together. So, and when I come up around them, I just make sure I have my mask on and you know, just being respectful.
I wore one of those shield things, you know, that has the glasses. And so it was clear so they could see me talking. And that worked out really well.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, I mean, I wouldn't wear that for going out and about to the grocery store or stuff. I don't think it's quite as, you know, good as wearing a mask when you're, you know, when you're out in public.
Though, I have to say, I just saw one that looked really, probably like it would be even better than the cloth ones because it it hooked up from the chin and went up rather than just like here. Yeah, and it kind of like came up, and I was like, I might order some of those because I don't think my glasses would steam up. You know?
Right, I know. You can't wear glasses. I cannot wear my glasses for work. It's gotten really frustrated. I've been actually, you know, just walking around partially blind because of the stupid mask. Because I can't, they steam it up. It doesn't work. It's terrible.
And they're like, well, you got to put it under. It's like, it doesn't stay.
No.
Like, and then
let me know what those are.
Can we just throw a hot flash in there too on top of it?
Yeah, right.
Do that too.
Yeah, the hot flashes.
Okay. Oh, Stacy, she just joined a month or so ago. Yeah, I've got a lot of you are in here. Totally agree. I feel like I'm developing a relationship with Kelly as a member. Yes, ma'am. It's just easier to like, because even though we're on video, you have to think like from my point of view, I'm looking at all these your little avatar of your little faces, right? So, and then people change their avatars a lot in the picture. And so it's just not the same as you know, you physically see a person walking in and you recognize their walk, their sound of their voice. So I just feel like it helps me be more personable that way. Okay, any other questions? Because I do have a class to teach at 6 in the Creators Club. So we're going to do our intuitive art session tonight. So excited.
I am too.
I feel like I need it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm like, well, I've been excited since the last one we did. Because it's my favorite, definitely. It's like I know that it may be a week or two or whatever, but I know something really crazy, cool, fun is going to come out of it. And I'll have something to, I'm starting to get the confidence about it too. Yeah. So it'll be really.
And the intuitive art, I feel like, you know, that can go for days and days. I mean, like literally, you know, and we had talked about that too. One of these months, maybe in the winter, in the dead of winter, maybe we will just do like an intuitive month where we take that painting, maybe a big one, and work on it the whole month. I think that would be so
I love
cool.
that idea. Yeah.
So, all right. Anybody
else?
I
just want to say thank you so much, Kelly. Once again, you're so sweet. And I love you, hug you. Right now, I'm hugging you for giving me, you know, just so much all the time. And today, this opportunity today to come on. And I'm just so glad that I got to do that. And I encourage, you know, you guys in the Creators Club, she's opening up to do it. It would be so fun to see you too. I want to meet everyone this way.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool place. And girl, I love you. I love your art. It just blows me away. So cool. And I'm so happy that the classes you're doing now. I knew you were going to rock it. I know you were like, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, no, you're going to rock this. You got this. So everybody, the name of her company, Betsy Kelly Designs. And I believe your link, is it different than Betsy Kelly Designs? Is it the traveling What's the name?
No, yeah, I
Or is
haven't,
that,
I haven't added the traveling stuff on yet. We haven't launched that yet. When I
oh,
do, y'all know, you guys will all know about it.
oh,
I'll make a big deal out of it.
somebody dropped the link. I already shared it on here. Did you see? Was I
What, the
not
Betsy Kelly Designs or the Art Ride?
it was the traveling.
Oh, well, no, that's
Christine
my,
dropped it.
yeah, that's my Betsy Kelly Designs page. That is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what is that link? Let me see
It's
if I
just
can
what
find it
it's
again.
just the description of me in the top of my page.
Oh, okay.
Like if you when
Okay,
you
but
see it, like sometimes it'll say, artist. Well, mine says traveling something, I think.
okay. Yeah, that's what threw me off because I was like, well, I
Yeah.
hope they can find it. Okay. But anyway, Betsy Kelly Designs, she is on Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
soon to
You
be YouTube channel.
yeah.
So you want to check out, because once she starts traveling again, she's going to do some traveling art videos, which I think is going to be really cool, like this nomad artist kind of thing.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
show is going to be going on. So hopefully she will roll up to my studio and then I can hug
I
her
know.
in person. All
I'm
right,
going to. I guarantee it.
yay, I can't wait. All right, girl,
Yeah.
I'm going to let you get back to your life. And
Okay.
actually, I will see you at 6.
You'll
We're going
see
to
me
be
later.
meeting. So, all right, thank you so
Okay.
much for
Thanks.
hanging out. And each of you that are watching, thank you so much for sprinkling the love for us. That's how we grow as small businesses. And we will see you again tomorrow. I'm going to be live. We're going to be, what time is it tomorrow? Not you, Karen
No,
Craig.
I thought
It's going to be
I don't want
11.
to
It's
misspeak.
11 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be live doing a little bit of an art and craft project tomorrow with Karen.
Right.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you all later.